I saw this book. It's called Golden Days. Jack McCallum, he's a Hall of Fame NBA writer, and he's comparing, or at least trying to bring together, the stories of Jerry West's Lakers of the early 70s, Steph Curry's Warriors of today, and he says California dreamers who reinvented basketball. And Jack McCallum, kind enough to join us. Hi, Jack. How are you today?
How you doing, Dan? I'm doing good. Okay.
Explain the book. Explain what you're comparing with these two eras. And, of course, Jerry West is the common thread because he worked with the Warriors and was the star of those Laker teams.
Well, it started out as kind of a sort of a disquisition on winning streaks. That Lakers team that you mentioned with Jerry and Wilt Chamberlain won 33 straight games. That just got into my head. That was just an unbelievable number. And while I was planning the book, the Warriors were in the process of winning. You know, they were in the middle of this winning streak that ended at, depending on how you're counting, 24 or 27. And Jerry at that time was a consultant for the Warriors. And I just saw a chance to talk about two teams from different eras through the prism of one guy. The Warriors ended up screwing up my symmetry because they didn't win the championship. And then they got Kevin Durant in the offseason. So it kind of became necessary to talk about the Warriors this season. So it turned into less of a thing about winning streaks and more of a book about the way two teams did things, the way the Lakers did it, the Warriors did it, the comparisons between them, the contrast between them, with Jerry always as the central character, as you know, always a fascinating figure.
But you say California Dreamers, how did they reinvent basketball? How did the Lakers reinvent basketball? You know, I can look at Golden State and understand that now, but what was so inventive about what the Lakers were doing?
Well, I think that, if you took back when Jack Kent Cooke sort of invented for the NBA kind of modern marketing, if you will. I mean, he wouldn't spend a dime to get a new film projector, but, he built the fabulous Forum. He built his team with stars. He had kind of a different model than the other owners back then. It ended up, of course, nobody liked him by the end of it. And, the team fell apart after that championship season. But I think he was really a visionary in terms of the way he constructed a team, built a new arena, built a kind of show, the magic that turned into Showtime, and then turned it over to Jerry Buss, who did sort of the same thing. The modern Warriors doing it kind of with this Silicon Valley Hollywood mashup that they have with Joe Lacob and Peter Guber. I think the Warriors are kind of going forward the new paradigm in the NBA. But you can't do what they did if you don't have the players. I think that's the final thing that comes out of it. If you don't have good players, it doesn't matter what the heck you do with marketing or putting teams together or anything else. You need the players, and obviously the Warriors have that.
Do the Warriors know that they border on being unlikable?
I think they do. I think that Curry, at least, really, really understands it. I went out there thinking when I researched the book last year, I went out there thinking that the high knucklehead factor of Draymond Green, that I would hear a lot more about that. And within the structure of that team, Draymond is really important facet of it. And I think they kind of understand that, they never really had that toughness, even when they won in 15 before Durant got there. They were sort of a more lovable team then. And then when they got Kevin Durant, there were kind of this thing started that they were too powerful, and Durant went ring hunting, and that's a whole other dialogue we could have. And I think that the more intelligent, the guys that look at the game more understand that they do have a high unfavorability index. But in sports, man, as you know, nothing binds a team more than, hey, everybody hates us. Nobody likes us. And I think now they're sort of trying to build on that a little bit. And
but it feels like Durant
is
is bothered by it, Jack, whereas the other guys may embrace it. Durant is way too sensitive with this, it feels like.
No question. I mean, I said that in the book. I think that he has to – Kevin is, in a way, as much as he's accomplished in the league. I mean, he's been in the league now, 10 years. He's a veteran. He's won an MVP award. He won a Finals MVP. He still kind of plays this I don't get no respect card, and he still seems to be a sort of a project, a guy in making. Not on the court. I mean, he's fantastic, but trying to figure out what he is in the league. He's not as comfortable doing that in a way as Steph Curry is. I think Steph had it figured out more than KD, and it's going to be interesting this year, their second year together with this embarrassment of riches, to see how they handle it.
The book is called Golden Days, West Lakers, Steph's Warriors, and the California Dreamers who reinvented basketball. The author is Jack McCallum. Do you think this is LeBron's last stop, Cleveland?
Oh, boy. Somehow, I think not. I don't have any inside information on that, but I could just see him. He has a home in Los Angeles. I could just see him kind of, this team this year, which is still very good, mainly because he's on it, is kind of a makeshift type of team. It has a feeling of a kind of last year, let's get the band together back for do one more oldies tour. And LeBron at the end of the season is still going to be, at the top of his game. I just see him wanting to reinvent himself and a team one more time. And the logical place you would think it would be with the Clippers or the Lakers. But I don't know what's inside the man's soul.
The only thing I thought, Jack, is he knows he can't match Michael Jordan's finals record, but he can do something that nobody else in the history of the game has done, and that's lead 3 different franchises to NBA titles, which makes the argument a little different as far as greatest player of all time. Could you see that rationale?
Sure, absolutely. I think everybody, all these guys always have, kind of Michael on their mind. And if LeBron has the idea that, he wants to get past Michael, and this is the only way he can do it, 3 different teams, that is kind of, that would be a phenomenal record. That might be in his thinking, but, that homecoming theme that when he went to Cleveland, that idea that I'm coming back and this is my past and this is where I made it big and this is where I learned the game, that's pretty strong too. And my own guess is that LeBron doesn't have that quite figued out himself yet. I think he, is probably going to see what happens this season. If he gets these guys to a title, that would really be something, particularly, considering how the Western Conference was remade in Houston and Oklahoma City, not to mention Golden State and the perennial San Antonio.
Jack, great to talk to you again, and good luck with the book, and thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you, Dan.
That's Jack McCallum, NBA Hall of Fame writer, in the book called Golden Days.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.